Yeah,
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for asking.
I've watched a few episodes of the Continental, and I have to say it is so good. But I want you to take me through the day when you are on set designing all the action sequences. Do you keep the actor in mind or the scene in mind while you're prepping for the action sequences because they look really well done?
Yes,
Uh,
always try to keep first thing I do is start with the character, what their background is, what the script says their background is. Now, if the script has not given an exact fighting martial arts style, then I find what can work best for the actor or actress. We do an assessment where we bring them to the gym. We start going through some motions with them, see where their level of physicality lies, and then we create from there. But sometimes we have something in mind ahead of time, and then we see if the actor or actress can adjust. But most of the time, it always starts with what's in the script, and then from there we see what we can do with the actor within a certain amount of time to adjust to the scene.
Has it ever happened to you? I'm very curious that you design a certain action piece for an actor and they really surprise you and have been very spontaneous on set, and you realize that okay, maybe this actor has a lot more potential, and you change the action sequence. How often does that happen?
It does happen often because there's that thing I call movie magic, where you can prepare 90%, but there's always room for percent on set. And sometimes that comes from the atmosphere, the set, or the actor may create something. It could be an acting movement that worked well between a punch, a kick, a grab, a throw. Little things like that where we might delay the next beat of the fight choreography, or we may change a kick from the left foot to the right foot based off of the camera angle. And through proper training, most of the time, the actors they're usually able to adapt because we want them to not be stuck on the way it was rehearsed. We want them to live the fight scene out on set and be natural with it. So most of the times they can make those adjustments on the fly, which is a great thing.
has any actor ever surprised you on set that you would think that, oh, okay, this actor might, this is what I have prepared for him, and then you're like mind blown seeing that they have not just done justice, but like overdid it, like they have surpassed your expectations.
Mhm. Oh yeah, this happened many times. I mean, one great example on Continental was our actress Jessica, who plays the character Lou. She was in a very difficult fight scene, and next thing you know, the day it was time to do it, she came to life like never before. And it's not that people hold back during rehearsals, but sometimes people are still finding themselves. They're finding their rhythm, their speed, how to do it safely, and then how will the character do it. Then they combine all that together. But when it's time to execute it on set, it's amazing when you see someone like that bring it together as if they've been performing this fight scene or this style all their lives. And that's part of the movie magic.
I completely agree with you, actually. It's interesting. I would love to be a fly on a wall when you're directing something like this because it's interesting. But in global times now, when everyone kind of goes to movies or for series, I mean, everyone talks about action sequences so much.
Mhm.
How much of a pressure or challenge do you think it is to sort of stand out, re-innovate, reassess your caliber and just like present something
Mhm.
new all the time because it is challenging, I would like to believe.
Well, look, I've been honored to travel all over the world, work in many different countries. For India, for example, I've been to India many
I
times.
was just about, yeah, I was just about, I'll come to
Yes,
that, but yeah.
yes. So what I do is I try to study if I'm in a certain market, but the US is a worldwide market, and sometimes the US sets the tone, but then other times there's surprises from other parts of different countries where they try something different, something very unique. And then I keep those things in mind, what worked, what didn't, but I always respect what the director's vision is, what the script is, and then my job as the action director is to make sure you see something that either you haven't seen before or you've seen a fresh version of it. Because when you walk out that movie theater or you're streaming or watching something online, I feel like that your time's precious. So let's not waste it. Let's make sure when you watch those action sequences, it doesn't blend with the other action sequence you've seen before, especially if you watch plenty of movies, because there are some great material out there. So, like in India, for example, star always in shape, always giving his best. I did my best to make sure he was presented in a different way. So it was the same way with the Continental. Most of those actors, some of them haven't done fight scenes before, so it was their first time. Others have. So everybody brought something different to the table. But each one, each sequence was given its own special attention to make sure it stood out.
Was it different doing action, designing the action pieces here? Because obviously the actors are different, the culture is different, and everything else. I mean, how different was it? And if you had to pick one actor who really surprised you here in India, do you have a name?
Well, I would say one of the differences in India is you get more time. What I love about the process over there is when they sit down and they talk with the action director, whether it's the studio, the director, there's action sequences. You guys do such an amazing job of making sure there's room to create, there's room to exercise different opinions of how things work, and of course, there's always the part where, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do this, but then here comes the dance sequence. So let's make sure the fight scene leaves our
Yeah.
hero in a position where he's not hurt, he's not bruised, he's not bloody or something like that, because in the very next scene, he expresses his love and has to go into this dance sequence, so he can't be beaten up too much, So those are the type of
I
things I enjoy because it's a challenge, because you have to hold back sometimes. Like, okay, we can't hit him in the face. We don't want too many bruises on him because he has to dance in the next sequence, and we want to make sure the continuity matches. So it's always fun, but it definitely gives me a challenge.
You also did action direction for Baahubali and Sultan in India. I want to know what was your experience like?
Well, what I would say is the one thing, the process for me is you got to get to know your actors. They can't just show up and then you tell them what to do, because I understand these are mega stars. They have a process and you have to respect their process. Whether you go to their homes, whether you meet them on the beach, or whether you go out to dinner and we talk action, we talk about filming, we talk about cinematography, we talk about the story. You present how you will design their action. You show examples, so by the time they show up, their mind is ready, they're focused, and then there's also a level of mutual respect for who they are and what I do. So by the time it's time to work together, we can flow a lot faster and be on the same page a lot sooner. So that usually helps out, especially going to India, taking my time to get to know the actor, because 9 times out of 10, they've done plenty of action sequences and they've worked with many action directors. So I have to welcome them to my process of how I do things.
Thank you so much. I hope that do more work in India, and thank you so much for this lovely chat. Thank you.
Thank you.